Y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Jamila Creates, and I'm Jamila. So today we're making, and I know this is in slow mode, it might be really annoying, sorry, I just have a lot to say, and I want to have time to say it because this footage is kind of quick, and I didn't feel like filming a whole intro today. So today's video was supposed to be Pride Month patches, but that's okay, I can do that next week. Today I'm just going to be showing you how I turned this menswear vest into a beautiful dress that I actually sold at my last event. Um, so I'm showing you how I'm going to be using that fabric as the trim. Um, and I'm going to be cutting the bottom band off of it. So stay tuned for the video and to see what I do with this. So I tested a few methods with the fit of this. I ended up not liking any of it. I wanted a more boxy silhouette. But you can see that the first step in something like this sometimes is just to try different things. Like I decided I wanted to try a waistband. I didn't like it, so I switched gears. I tried using it to cover the underarms. At first, I liked that, but and I saved the material for it. But once I finished the rest of the dress, I realized that it wasn't the vibe for me. So it's the type of thing where experimentation is encouraged, and that's why I kept this little piece in there, even though it's not strictly necessary for the movement of the video. So next I'm laying out my ruffle in the fabric that I want to use. And what I do is I measure how tall I want it, and then how wide I want it is however, whatever the measure of the hem is, at least times two. I think ideally it should be times four. I didn't have enough fabric, so what I ended up doing was just stacking the ruffles, and I really liked how that effect was. So that was more less measuring and more winging it. I just used as much fabric as I could yield from this. Again, I'm making them out of sheets, so it's kind of hard to tell. And now I'm just using a method to gather the pieces. That took forever, but basically it's a number one stitch with a really wide stitch length, and then you pull the bobbin thread. But before I did that, I actually hemmed the other side, which is backwards from how you usually do it, but it saved me a lot of trouble of having to hem it after after gathering. So that was good. At this point, in gathering the stitches, I had broken the thread a couple of times. That's not supposed to happen if you gather it in the bobbin, but I didn't do that, so be sure to gather it in the bobbin stitch. Anyway, so I kind of had to wing it in that I tied it where it was a couple of times, and then I gathered the other part by hand on the sewing machine, which was pretty difficult, but I at least got to secure it. And I just wanted to show you this because you can see how the ruffles are going, that they're pretty voluminous. I decided I wanted more volume over um, more area captured, so that's why I ended up just layering the ruffles on. That's something that you can test for yourself on the mannequin and on the dress form. But I really like the way that it looks. And then since I'm going to be top stitching all this anyway, that you should really top stitch these things when you gather so that your gathers actually stay. I thought it just looked really neat. I couldn't get enough of this to work and still have the amount of ruffles that I wanted, so I decided that I'm going to do this in a two-part way. So I'm going, or with two colors, so I'm going to have this be the back and most of the front, and then I'm going to have another color overlap it. So I'm going to find the center of this and the center back of this, match those together, and then there'll be an opening. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it in the front so that the hem is up. I'm going to determine where I want my opening on the mannequin, and then I'm going to pin it together. And I might as well sew now and then make the zebra print, and then make the other layer. Spoilered it for you, out of zebra print. The first the first ruffle is attached, and I think I want to keep this energy going and just create another one just like it and place it overlapping more on the back than the front. In fact, I might actually just sew it to the no, I want the volume to go out, just try to make it even bigger. And yeah, I think I want one more of the striped, and then we could figure out what other kind of alternating ones we want. Because I think I'm going to use that as kind of a decoration. And I made an executive decision. I'm keeping the sleeves big and open like this. I feel like it gives it a sporty vibe. And, you know, the old me would have been like, but you can see your bra. But the new me is like, wear a cute bralette. It'll be fine. I'll style it with a cute bralette for inspiration. It'll be fine. Who doesn't love a cute bralette moment? Yeah. And besides that, I'll just do this all over again with this and whatever fabrics I decide would look good with that. I don't want to make it too crazy. I do want the other fabric or fabrics to be black and white. But I haven't decided between the zebra print or the polka dots. That's missing some mesh pieces, so I'll think about that. And the logo, it has an Izod logo on it, which is not great. I'm thinking to either put something over it with vinyl or a patch. A patch could look good over it, or put my screen print, my zebra, like with the horn going through the Z. But the problem is that's still a copyright, and I'm still going to be selling this, so I think I've just convinced myself on the patch. Alright, so since the last part of the tutorial, I may have gone a little bit overboard. In my defense, I really like the way that this looks, but also I didn't really have enough of the fabric to really wrap it all the way around unless there was like no gathering, and I like the gather, so we're going with it. I also added some zebra print right here as a contrast. I really like that. It's also on the side. And this panel that covers up the leg, I might move it up even more, but I kind of like the idea of the leg being like, you can kind of reveal it like that. And I really wanted the shoulder to have a ruffle too. I might move that even more towards the shoulder. I think that would look better, a bit more dramatic. Yeah, now, oh, and I picked out some little patches. This came in a kit that's pretty juvenile looking, but I have a few that'll work. I'm thinking a couple of silver stars, one covering the Izod. And then I'll print my logo here or something so that it's near the stars. So now what I have to do is move some of this and sew all of this. When you're sewing this, I'm not going to show this on camera, but when you're sewing this, start with the bottom layer and do a zigzag. I already put hem tape here just to hold it while I'm sewing, so I'm going to switch to a different needle for this and just zigzag over all of it. starting with the bottom layers and then doing the top layers and then doing the shoulder. So that was painstaking, but I have them all sewn on, all my little ruffles there in all their different sizes and patterns. So I'm happy with that, and I have the little shoulder ruffle there. So now all it needs is the screen printed zebra right here and the iron-on patches right here, and it will be finished. I do want to make it a feature of my display. I want to get into doing vendor booths soon, so I do think I'm going to make another plastic belt to go with it. Maybe a bralette if I have time. If I don't, it doesn't really need one. But yeah, that's where it is for today. I'm going to go upstairs and work on something else for a bit. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe and share this. And also, I have my store, which this thing in particular isn't on my store, but you can request something similar from me. That's something cool about my stores that I can definitely make you custom upcycles if you would like. This one, fortunately for me, it sold, so I'm very happy with that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll have those links down below. And until then, happy sewing!